Nitrogen-fixing plants have evolved a unique ability to acquire nitrogen by forming a symbiosis that plays a key role in all major ecosystems. The main component of this relationship is nitrogen. Nitrogen is an essential nutrient to all life on Earth because it supports the function of amino acids, the building blocks of protein. For plants in particular, nitrogen is a key ingredient of chlorophyll, making it essential for photosynthesis. Nitrogen is often a limiting nutrient to plants because it exists as dinitrogen in the atmosphere, which is unavailable to most living organisms because of the strength of the triple bond between the two N atoms. The process of nitrogen fixation converts atmospheric nitrogen into usable ammonia by breaking the triple bond between the atoms, N atoms and N2. Early in the 20th century, humans found a way to harness this mechanism and industrialize nitrogen fixation through the Haber-Bosch process, which was hugely influential in the Green Revolution and the increase of food production. However, the ramifications of nitrogen deposition from fertilizer have caused huge ecological problems like eutrophication, air pollution, and water contamination, but that's for another time. Naturally, nitrogen fixation can occur biologically and from lightning. Biological nitrogen fixation takes place underground when some species of microorganisms form a symbiotic relationship with compatible host plants. A common nitrogen-fixing association is between a microbe called rhizobium and legume plants like peas or clover. There are living bacteria in all soils that can fix nitrogen on their own, but when they live together, the mutualism provides greater benefits to both the plants and the bacteria, increasing their fitness. Host plants harbor bacteria in their roots by growing nodules and providing carbohydrates. In exchange for the provisions of a habitat and food source, the bacteria convert N2 to ammonia, which plants can readily absorb. Nodulation on root systems occur when plant signals activate genes in the bacteria to release chemicals telling the host plant to start producing a nodule meristem. Rhizobia penetrate the growing nodule through the infection thread. Bacteria then undergo physical changes by losing their cell wall and forming a strangely shaped cell known as a bacteroid. They are then completely dependent on their host plant. Normally, these mutualists engage in partner choice, meaning that plants can provide greater fitness feedback to more cooperative symbionts. Legumes will allocate greater resources to nodules with more beneficial rhizobial strains through biochemical machinery like manipulating oxygen levels or carbohydrates. The symbiotic relationship changes according to the conditions of their ecosystem, like climate, resource limitations, and nutrient availability. The amount of nitrogen in soil has an inverse relationship with the efficiency of bacteria. If nitrogen is a limiting factor in plant communities, they will allocate more resources to bacteria. This scenario is most commonly observed on primary successional sites like volcanic landscapes, where some event removes large quantities of nutrients. As soil age and ecosystems develop, nitrogen pools up in the ground, reducing N limitation and the subsequent need for plant-bacterial symbioses. Because the relationship is energy intensive, they will not harbor nodules if there is already enough available nitrogen in the soil. Nodule-forming plant species are found within the rosid clade. Specifically, they all reside in the fabid lineage. The number of times that this plant-bacterial symbiosis has evolved independently within the fabids would indicate that this is a useful and efficient mechanism for plants to overcome the constraint of nitrogen as a limiting nutrient. However, the evolution of sister species that did not have this property complicates the origin of this trait. Somehow, the common ancestor had a predisposition to nodulation, but how the homoplasy arose is still being studied. Some theorize that nodules could be homologous if there was a single origin event within the clade and then many independent losses occurred afterwards. However, it seems more plausible that there are multiple nodule origins. Even if the exact evolution of this trait is still being debated, it is nonetheless incredibly important for nutrient cycles and ecosystems all over the world, and that is how the legume plant made friends with rhizobia.